Hi, thanks for tuning into today's video. Yesterday one of my dealers contacted me asking how to connect one of our wireless NMEA devices to the navigation software PolarView, which is available for Windows, Linux and Macs. So I thought rather than send him a detailed written email about how to set it up, I'd do a quick video and then everyone can benefit and watch it. So here we go. In PolarView we've got all the data connections are set up using the ship menu, and under there you've got one called Port Manager where you set them up. Now when you first get this, it just has one default serial connection set up. I actually deleted that, so I'm going to create a new wireless connection. So I'm going to add that. Now it supports lots of different connections, so it's best to give it a name so that you can recognize what the connection data is. So I'm just going to call this one Digital Yacht, but you can call it anything: AIS, GPS, instruments, whatever the data is. And then you basically select, if it's a wired connection like through a USB to NMEA adapter or something like that, then you'd select serial port, but for this demonstration it's all about our wireless NMEA, so we set network client. So basically PolarView now will become a client to our wireless NMEA device. It will, when it powers up, it will establish a connection and it will ask for data to be sent to it, and our device is acting as the server. Now all of our latest wireless NMEA devices use an IP address of 192.168.1.1. So I'm going to type that into there, and they all use, even the older devices use a port 2000, so we'll put that in. Now some of our older AIS and WLN10 units used a 169.254.1.1 IP address. So if you've got an older device and you're not quite sure if what IP address it uses, you can either look in the manual where it will be detailed, or a fail-safe way is to connect to it with your PC and then go in and actually check what IP address the PC has got. And if the first two characters start 169 and 254, then it's the older device, and you need to enter in here 192. Sorry, not 192, that's for the newer ones, 169.254.1.1. Whereas if you've got one of the newer units, then the settings that we've set here are what you need to enter. Other settings here, I mean, we've got mux out, multiplex out, so we don't need that. What that does is it takes any other connections that you set up and it sends the data from those connections out on this connection. Not something that I need to do for this demonstration. And NMEA out, that is if you want the PolarView to drive an autopilot. Again, it's probably a bit beyond the purposes of this video, but I know some people are doing that, and in which case you'd need to set NMEA out to on. Last, I wouldn't worry too much about these retry and connect timeout settings, just leave the defaults there. The only other thing you need to set is the activation, so you can manually establish the connection whenever you run the program, but then you have to go into this menu and click start, or you can get it to automatically create the connection when PolarView starts, or you can get it to automatically create the connection when PolarView goes into its live ship mode. So this is a unique feature of PolarView, and it's like basically telling the program, okay, now I'm going to go out sailing and let's do live ship mode, and it behaves in a slightly different way than in the sort of normal planning mode type mode. So I'm going to actually use that. I thought that was quite a good feature. So I'm going to click add there, and it's created the new connection, and it says it's running, so I can close that. And so all I've got to do now to see the data is go ship and select live ship mode to activate the connection. And sure enough, as soon as I do that, you see our boat here. We're actually connected to one of our new Nomad transponders, so we're getting the GPS position from the transponder, and that's us there, the yellow vessel with the vector line, and you're getting all the AIS reception, all the AIS targets around us. So all the green targets are the ones where we know what the name of the vessel is, and all the grey ones are the ones where we know there's a vessel there but we haven't received all of the data on it yet. So that's all there is to it really. It's quite a simple setup, and I thought this video would be useful for any potential PolarView user. Thanks very much for listening.